we go. Rolling.
24, take 2. A marker.
Action. Whoa, scary.
This film is in a way a throwback to films from the late 70s like E.T. and Close Encounters, in that it's really about wonder, and the wonder of the universe.
Action.
I said, I think I'd like to try a shot at directing this. It just seemed something that would be really a lot of fun to do, especially since I had such a passion for the story for so many years.
All right, remember, kids, when I say action, you're going to start putting your little flowers down.
Being a head of a studio, I did carry a certain amount of baggage with me, and I'd only directed one film before, although, of course, one is better than none.
Bob was really in his element making Book of Love. He just immediately clicked with it because it was very much his era, and he understood the angst this kid went through trying to get his girl. So when he got to the part where he was directing it, he couldn't have been happier. It was the happiest I ever saw Bob. He was creatively involved making something he cared about, and his work with the actors was great.
Yes. Okay, so it's like it's a new thought. You're still trying.
It's been a great process working with Bob. He's incredibly passionate about this story and this movie.
Help! Help me! Help! Oh, look! Help! Help! Look at your brother here.
We are involved in the development and ultimate production specifically of approximately 15 films a year that actually become reality.
Well, it's interesting that Bob chose to direct this because he could direct any project he wanted that was coming through the New Line pipeline. But he has a very real connection to the material in a very heartfelt way.
Even though I worked for him, I think he felt that it was important that the head of production endorse and support the film and really believe in it, which I did.
Action!
It really wasn't until we started serious pre-production that I saw how incredibly focused he is and that he has film in his blood.
There's a smile on my face.
He's head of New Line Cinema, big wig.
It's tough. You know, this company requires pretty much all of your time and effort. I think it's, in this case, really fortunate there are two of us, and we complement each other very well. If there's a reason for one of us to step in and do a little more for a period of time, it's not that hard to do because each of us really understands the company inside and out in a way, in every aspect of it. So it wasn't really hard for me to augment the part that Bob, maybe on a day-to-day basis, sometimes wasn't available to do.
I happen to personally do better when I'm doing a lot of things as opposed to simply one thing. I guess I get bored a little more often than I should. But I love working at New Line as a studio executive, but I also love directing. And while directing is very time-consuming, you still have 24 hours in every day, and you don't need to sleep that much, and I'm not being facetious.
The whole point of this is to have a really good time.
My style is, I think, significantly different than many directors. I don't believe in the auteur theory. A French director once said to me once when we were talking about directing, he said, on the set, the director is God. So few people used to bow when I walked by. So I mean, I get the vibe, but that's definitely not my style. Just in the way I've been running New Line for almost 40 years now, my style is very much of collaboration.
You look at the number of movies that he supervised and directors he's worked with, he did learn something about what directors can do to really help themselves and what they can do to really hurt themselves. He's seen how directors can use the resources around them to their own ends effectively, and how the best directors do that.
Just sit listening to your sister tell the story, which you know pretty much to be true, okay?
Bob spoke about our different roles, and then we rehearsed, and he would give us input on exactly what it was that each of us meant to the story. And at the same time, he was very curious what we thought and if enough was being communicated.
We're going to add some words, ad-libbing a little bit.
I very often enlisted them to come up with thoughts about the dialogue, to come up with stuff that was appropriate and intrinsic to the story and to their character, but the character that they had created and not necessarily the character that the writers had created.
Would it be better that I take Mimzy and the power goes and she...
The trick about being a collaborator is not simply being a traffic manager, but listening to what people have to say and picking out best ideas.
Remember, Mimzy taught me, and then you look up at Mimzy.
I think I would do this up in the air.
Well, I would, yeah, but I would put her so her face is looking at you, so that.
Mimzy taught me this.
Yeah. Okay.
One more time, guys.
He gives me so much freedom to change lines, to ad-lib, to do whatever I think my character would do. It's never a problem with him.
I mean, I don't have to. I mean, I can just be here the whole time.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of cute, though, but let's just try the first wave.
Everybody would try to challenge me a little bit. At one point, Rainn Wilson said to me when I said, "Trust me," he looked at me and he said, "You're going to have to earn my trust," and then turned around and walked away.
I hadn't really realized it before. This is...
Okay, I'll try something different. Thanks. He lets the people do their work, which is a very brave thing to do, you know, because you're not then controlling every little aspect of things, but you're letting the DP try something and the actor try something and allowing suggestions to come in from the producer that help support the story. And I think that's what great directors do, and I think he's an excellent collaborator.
Jimmy, you all right?
That was pretty good, right?
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
One of the things that I realized is your director of photography is an amazing asset. Jimmy has a really good eye and amazingly good ideas, but the funny thing about Jimmy is that he talks this kind of movie lingo.
Now, when we get to here, that's a cowboy switch, okay?
We're going to give it the 7-Eleven vibe and come by with a cowboy switch and then come around. We'll go over with a 320 and then move down there. And I had to turn to our AD and say, "What is he talking about? What is this?" And he's like, what he really means is you'd like to have the actor go from here to there because the camera's going to be here. So, oh, okay, that'll work.
Jimmy? Yeah. I think I want to continue and carry right along. Okay, let's do it. Rolling.
Bob would say, I need this event to happen in this scene, and I need this event. Now, what do you, as an artist, have to offer to bring it together? So, incredibly fun for you as an aspiring filmmaker or cameraman.
49, take 2.
Oh, really? Is this what's going on right now?
It is.
My first day of shooting, Rainn and I did our first scene together in the movie. We hardly knew each other. It was like, nice to meet you, and then start making out. It was really like overwhelming and fast. But Bob is very confident. He'll just say, "Print," and you think, oh my God, I got one take. I can't, you know, that was a great lesson as an actor to just kind of let go as well.
Okay, that's really good.
He, like, sometimes when there's, like, a really, really good take, he'll get up and he'll dance around and stuff.
And as you put the crystal to it, things really start happening all around you.
It's kind of amazing the way he can take control of everything on the set. When he has to be, he's really a down-to-business type dude.
We have to work this out a little bit. It's a question of how fast the crane is dropping her.
Whoa, and there it goes. It's flying up in the air.
Bob is passionate about his direction to the actors in terms of visual effects. And so he would give them, even when there was nothing there, a really strong visual sense of what it was that they were seeing.
It's turning into these Mandelas all over the place, and now it's moving to David's wall, and it collapses right in there.
And people all around the set just became mesmerized by the fact that he was so passionate about this moment. And it was something that really brought the actors and also the crew together, because you realized that there was a vision. He was absolutely magical.
And it's really scary now. Oh, it's scary. But now it's fun. Now it's really, really fun.
I didn't set out to make a, a gee whiz, oh, isn't that sweet, good value movie. It's not my style. I'm not a preacher. And I really only tried to make a story that could entertain. And I couldn't have been more satisfied.
Okay, very good, kids.